Wait, what are you looking for again?
I'm looking for To Love Ru.
Oh, you mean the anime with the large amount of text?
Tippy, how about you shut your weird mouth before I go full gliss?
Okay then, even though To Love Ru is garbage, so...
No, you're garbage!
Whatever. Wait, what is this I just found?
Oh no. It's a video by Blaze the Movie Fan. Wait, what is this doing in the manga store?
I don't know. Maybe because God hates us.
Well then.
Stick 'em, stick 'em, stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em, stick 'em, stick 'em, yeah! Head for the barricade. This world can make you sick to your stomach, so I put on my headphones, listen to the Deftones.
Hello there everyone, this is your favorite black woman slayer.
And this is your weeaboo moi trash lover, BlazinHope.
And we're back with another multiracial commentary.
Nigga, you smoking weed or something?
Shut up!
Anyways, today we'll be covering Blaze the Movie Fan, who did a video on Doodle Tones, who did a video on TOG Professor, who did on the Gamers video on 5 JRPGs that you wouldn't want to play in front of your parents.
Now, we're going to be skipping the first part of the video since we pretty much have nothing to say about it, except for one part.
Now look, I'm likely gonna get backlash for making this video. But I have been a bandwagon in the commentary community since 2016, and I'm really past the point of caring. I used to care what the commentary community thinks of me, but not anymore. Now I mainly care about entertaining my fans who enjoy my commentaries.
Yeah, expect me to address this during my final thoughts.
Oh, now I'm curious, but I'll wait.
A cock? It's a frightening creature with the body of a snake.
No pomp and circumstance or sketches this time, because it's my first commentary I've made in a long time and first actual video past, doing my Nuzlocke challenge of Pokemon Platinum that I'm trying to fix because I had an issue and lost some of my video files and kind of screwed up my saves. So I'm trying to fix that now.
Oh no. Don't tell me. Is this unscripted? That's gonna cause problems, isn't it? Alright, I'll go ahead and address this. TOG, I understand that 2011 and 2012 commentaries were typically done without a script, and that may have been fine for that time period, but it's kind of an outdated practice now. Mainly because people understand that if you go unscripted, you can wind up with stupid contradictions, a lack of research, or you can just lose your train of thought completely and go on unneeded and unnecessary tangents that have nothing to do with the video. I guess it's not inherently a problem. There are some people who are the exception and can legitimately go through a video unscripted and unfiltered and seem perfectly okay. But if I'm gonna be blunt with this video proves you're not the exception.
I will admit that you do make a good point that TOG didn't use a script for this particular commentary, but you're factually wrong in assuming that most people didn't use scripts back in 2012. Sure, that might have been the case for people who weren't well liked in the commentary community back then, but the popular and the very respected commentators back then did use scripts. In fact, let's go further back in time and talk about 2011. One of the most popular and one of the most respected commentators back then was M-Scholar1, and he clearly used scripts in his commentaries. Not only that, there was also a very popular song made back in 2011. I wish I could show a clip from that song, but unfortunately I couldn't find it. If I recall correctly, that song went something like scripted and editing and scripting and editing, which is clearly encouraging people to use scripts. So yeah, it was highly fucking encouraged back in 2011.
But that wasn't her point though. Her point was that most people in 2012 typically went unscripted, not everyone. By typically, she means that it was a usual practice for a lot of people in the community. That doesn't mean that it's everybody within the community.
Also, I like how you only point out one example of someone back then who used scripts, that being M-Scholar1. That doesn't count for the entirety of the CC during that time. It's only one situation. Though, if I can hit duel here, I think it would be a better idea to give examples as to what commentators back then went through commentaries unscripted. It would have helped your case to show that back then, it was a common practice.
I'll distract him. You two go, 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 go.
Criminal Girls. Where do we even start with this one? The premise and execution of Criminal Girls is downright creepy, and there are multiple sequels to the game. The premise follows the everyday story of girls who committed sins and are sent to hell. The young girls need someone to save them, and the hero comes in the form of a middle-aged man who does some questionable things to rid them of their sins. Add in some pretty risque graphics, and you have yourself a family game night in the making. Or just one of the most uncomfortable conversations you've ever had with your parents. But Mom, I just need to entice one more girl to free her from her sins and release her from the digital hell.
Okay, yes. I will give you Criminal Girls. It really is nothing short of a smut game. So, well done. You called out a game for being complete fan service, mixed with a Newgrounds / hentai game, while poorly covering hard subjects such as rape.
Now, as on this note, I do have something else rubbing me the wrong way. Are you really using this whole interjection just to say, you did good and add nothing to the discussion? What the crap? This does nothing but pad out the video needlessly. There's no point, no jokes, just an, I agree with your entry and move on.
Alright, let me ask you a question. Aren't commentaries meant to help the creator of the original video? That's what I keep hearing commentators saying, and frankly pointing out what the creator of the original video did right is a lot more helpful than just telling the person what he did wrong with the video. So no, saying that you agree and move on isn't pointless padding. It does serve a purpose to the commentary. You know what that purpose is? Telling the creator of the original video what he did right. And I really think that the creator of the original video deserves to know that. Just pointing out problems with the video and not telling the user in question what he did right is very biased.
Oh boy, I've been wanting to address this point since we started. Well, yes, it is nice to tell your subject what they did right. However, if it's just agreeing with them, you're not explaining how they can improve from it. Pointing out issues is a way for the person to improve from the mistakes made, as you point out what they did wrong, and more often, pointing out how they can improve from it. If you want to point out how the person did something right, skip the part of the video and put in text saying that you agree with what they're saying. It would be much less of padding than stopping the video to go,
"Oh, that point is so great. I want that point to impregnate me and have my babies."
And here we go with potential orgies coming in again. Great! Also, while I do understand why you want to do this type of concept, it doesn't really work, as commentaries aren't just for the sake of helping the person to improve. It is also for the sake of critique and debate. Agreeing with your target doesn't do jack shit in the grand scheme of things when the main point is to point out flaws within the video.
And the bias thing. Okay, let's look at the definition of bias. Prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way that's considered to be unfair. How is simply addressing the flaws in a video biased exactly?
I mean, by that logic, every commentator is biased because they focus mainly on the flaws of the video mainly.
Hyperdimension Neptunia.
Sweet Jesus. He apparently remembered this as last about JRPGs. I'm shocked, so we're actually going to let this one play out fully.
A slew of games, and each one is basically dedicated to fan service. Accomplish a goal? A woman dressed in very little will appear on the screen and do a celebration dance. Win a battle? Enjoy the jiggle of female body parts. The game series pretty much exploits women in an effort to please male gamers. Not only should you not play these sexist games in front of your parents, but you probably shouldn't touch the Hyperdimension Neptunia games at all. There are far better JRPGs to enjoy, and ones that do not make you feel so ashamed afterwards.
Okay. I will give you that fan service games aren't everyone's cup of tea. That's granted. This is forgetting that it actually has a very quirky and entertaining storyline, and really the gameplay is rather good and the characters are overall likable. Hell, the representative for the Nintendo Wii is a child with an extreme foul mouth. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's great and all, but whoever wrote for the gamer doesn't think so, as given by their clear distaste for the series and even saying that there are better JRPGs to play than it. You're not doing anything to actually debunk the list here, you're merely stating an opinion that your target doesn't agree with. Subjectivity doesn't debunk subjectivity. Sorry.
I am so sick and tired of this garbage argument that I keep hearing in commentaries. Even though it might be true that subjectivity doesn't debunk points, the problem that I have with this argument is the fact that it's implying that you can only debunk points in commentaries and you aren't allowed to do anything else. And I'm sorry, but that does nothing but put restrictions on what you can do in a commentary. Here's the thing, most of the times when people are stating their opinions in commentaries, they aren't trying to debunk the point that the people they're commentating on is saying. They are just stating their own fucking opinions, and that's it. And that's also exactly what TOG Professor was doing. Look, there's more to commentaries than just debunking a video. Commentaries are also a form of a discussion. Sure, adding your own opinion doesn't debunk points, but it still gives your perspective that does add something of value to the discussion.
Blaze, what the Whoops! Look what you made me do! You made me kill Love Right Girl! Shame on you! But in all seriousness, no shit, Sherlock! It's almost as if people will use their own personal perceptions or experience from any discussion and apply that to form an argument, and using that towards the claims from other targets. Also, How exactly does using your opinion against someone else's opinion in a commentary add something to the discussion? If you want to state your opinion on certain things, make a video expressing your opinion on said thing. Don't do it in a type of video that is mainly focused on being objective. Going by this logic, every commentary would be like,
Oi, I'll have you know I like this thing.
But I hate this thing!
Also, no one ever said you could only debunk points in a video. Hell, people in the CC point out production issues don't debunk points. And even the hypocrisy card, if used correctly, while it doesn't debunk what the target is saying, it can be a valid point to bring up even if it doesn't invalidate anything. God, this point boils my blood so much.
But Tippy, your problem isn't with Blaze's point. Your problem is with freaking Tamashi.
And your problem is with Reese's Puffs!
Now, to be fair, even though this point annoys me most of the times, there is one instance where I don't have a problem with that argument. And that is the Cloud Palace commentary, The Subjectivity Odyssey.
Ooh, I was in that.
And I'm in this pointless commentary.
And I'm in hell. What's your point?
Because the person that you and many others were commenting on in that video was legitimately being an asshole and did treat his opinion like fact. And I only find this argument acceptable if the person you're commenting on in question is treating their opinions like fact.
Okay, coming from someone who was in the Cloud Comment Sidewinder, what was the difference between what Sidewinder was doing and what TOG was doing? You know, despite the fact that TOG didn't repeat his opinion throughout the video, but I digress. I mean, both of them were stating their opinions and adding nothing to the discussion. So with this in mind, Sidewinder and TOG were both stating their opinions as if they were facts, like you are saying.
I've exhausted my care for this. Please don't tell me this is how you plan to return. A bunch of repetitiously...
Okay, hold up. Call us a nitpick if you may, but Blaze, this clearly isn't part of Doodle's argument you were arguing about beforehand. This shows that you probably might need a skip card, because this could come off as very jarring to your audience. It helps to show what you're skipping so the audience won't get confused. This is the reason why pretty much the entirety of the CC uses skip cards.
I've exhausted my care for this. Please don't tell me this is how you plan to return. A bunch of repetitiously unscripted videos that attempt to go for the low-hanging fruits that lead you to not try. You're better than this. You're well enough aware that this isn't 2012 anymore, and yet a lot of the same arguments and tactics get brought up here that wouldn't have been out of place back then. It's outdated when it doesn't need to be. Your last commentary proves this. You're able to adapt and upgrade yourself, but here it just seemed like you wanted to get something out there because it's been a while, and that's... disappointing, to put it lightly.
How the hell would you know how commentaries were like in 2012? You weren't even in the commentary community back then. I have been in the commentary community since 2010. And I can tell you for a fact, what you just said here is complete bullshit. TOG's latest commentary is nothing like the commentaries made back in 2012. TOG constantly changes images for his avatar, even during interjections. He has a background and background music. Those are things that none of the commentaries made back in 2012 had.
Didn't you hear what Doodle said in the video? The entire point she was trying to make was that TOG's video were just like the ones from 2012 due to the fact that they seemed unscripted and only went for the low-hanging fruits when it comes to the arguments. She wasn't saying that everything about the video seems like it came from 2012. Oof!
Also, I love the assumption in the beginning of your statement of how Doodle doesn't know what it was back then because she wasn't around back then. Maybe she, oh I don't know, watched commentaries from 2012. Just because she wasn't around back then, that doesn't mean she can't know what 2012 comms.
Also, why bring up 2012? It's not really that noteworthy year for commentaries.
Okay, I can't believe I didn't notice this while I was editing, but Blaze, the reason she brought up 2012 was to work as a comparison because TOG started around 2012, and to basically remind them that, well, 2012 comms aren't the same as comms right now.
If you want to talk about an outdated style, wouldn't it make more sense to bring up 2010 or 2011? Those years were far more noteworthy for commentaries than 2012 was. Though, to be fair, there is one thing that I will agree with you on. TOG Professor is not as good as he used to be. And also, I am gonna be blunt, TOG Professor's commentary is far better than yours. And don't try to throw that subjectivity doesn't debunk points garbage at me. I am not trying to debunk you by saying that THC's commentary was better than yours. I am just giving my fucking opinion.
You're just stating you're shoehorning your opinion on Doodle and TOG. Fuck!
Now it's time for my overall thoughts.
I'd rather flex my knuckles.
Look, I want to make it clear that I don't think that Doodle Tones is a terrible person. I just think she's a very flawed commentator. Look, I might have been very harsh on her in this commentary, and that's because she made some points that really annoyed me. And it's not just Doodle Tones who makes those garbage arguments. I see those garbage arguments a lot in commentaries, and it really annoys me. I really wish that people in the commentary community would just knock this shit out. And also, I'm gonna just come right out and say it. I have far more respect for the skeptic / political community on YouTube than I have for the commentary community. Because they don't nitpick over stupid shit such as making subjective points or agreeing.
So, pointing out flawed arguments in a video is nitpicking? How though? A nitpick would imply that it is insignificant to the rest of the video, which going after a flawed point that someone makes really isn't. Also, must I point out the anger in these final thoughts? Like, whoa man, intentional or not, it's really not getting angry over someone just making arguments that you don't like. Like, put your salt on your fries, not everyone else.
And that's pretty much the end of the video, so I guess we'll move on to final thoughts. Slayer, I'll let you go first. I need to rethink my life choices.
Blaze, the heck was this video? Like, my god, this video was just reeking of missing the point of the arguments Doodle was making, being incredibly salty in places where it's not really called for, and overall, this is a hard video to sit through without asking why I'm even alive. Also, I want to address that little tidbit in the beginning. So, you don't care about what the commentary community thinks of you. This is damage control more than anything. Intentional or not, this just seems like you want to lessen the backlash you get. Blaze, I know you can take criticism, but flat out ignoring to fix these issues isn't going to help you in the long run. My advice is actually take what we say into consideration and learn to organize your thoughts better. Otherwise, you're going to make arguments in the same vein as this, which no one really wants. Like at all.
Now, after rethinking about this video, Blaze, I'm just going to be blunt just as much as you are being blunt on your final thoughts. This video is legitimately one of the worst videos I've seen this year. Not only was it a pointless video to begin with, see how you went about this in terms of execution and only addressing your issues that for the most part do nothing in the long run, but this video also suffers from misunderstanding what Doodle was saying, acting very condescending towards the discussion, and basically not getting why people would have an issue with some of your own complaints. Actually, if anything, this is more of a you thing. It's not exactly bad to have a personal grudge towards these ways people go about commentaries, but there will be reasons to why people don't do these things that you're doing or vice versa. There's going to be a flaw against these and there's no possible way to avoid those. Also, remember that one commentary I made on Kongni Muller, me saying that you just take things into consideration? Well, as Slayer's pointing out, it seems like you're just trying to avoid the backlash of whatever people will have against the notion. And that does more harm than good if you're going to flat out refuse to improve your production. My advice, not only take this into consideration, but also at least consider listening to people's perspective of the issues you have with how people go about these arguments.
Well then, we finished the video.
That's good. Boy, that was painful though. But since we're done, you can go ahead and try to find what you were looking for. I just checked the stocks for light novel manga shit.
You do realize it's trash tier manga, right?
I don't care. I'm just going to look for something that I like, even if it's garbage for some people.
Whatever. I'm going home while you look for novels about your favorite husbandos and your favorite Yuri waifus or something like that.
Well, alright then. We'll see you later. I just found one of Sarah Light's novels here! Holy shit, that's awesome! Yay!
'Cause I don't give a fuck.